What is truth? This question seems simple, but it is actually one of the biggest questions in philosophy. For thousands of years, great thinkers have tried to find a clear answer. Is truth something we discover out in the world like a hidden treasure? Or is it something we build inside our own minds, like a strong fortress of ideas? The answer matters a great deal because what we believe to be true guides our actions, shapes our societies, and defines our understanding of reality itself. It is the foundation upon which we build our knowledge, our laws, and our trust in one another. Without a shared idea of what is true, it becomes very difficult to agree on anything at all. Imagine you are a judge in a courtroom. Two people tell you very different stories about the same event. Your job is to find out what really happened. You need to discover the truth. This is a challenge we all face every day, not just in a courtroom, but in our own lives. When we read the news, talk to friends, or learn something new in school, we are constantly trying to separate what is true from what is false. This quest for truth is a fundamental part of being human. It drives our curiosity and our desire to make sense of the complex world around us, pushing us to ask questions and seek reliable answers. This fundamental search has led philosophers down many different paths. They have developed various theories or ideas about what makes a statement true. Two of the most famous and influential of these are the Correspondence Theory and the Coherence Theory. Each one offers a different way of looking at the problem. One suggests truth is like a mirror, reflecting the world exactly as it is. The other suggests truth is more like a perfectly woven web, where every thread supports every other thread. Understanding these two big ideas can help us think more clearly about what we believe and why we believe it. Exploring these theories is not just an academic exercise for philosophers in their armchairs. It has real-world importance for everyone. In our modern age, we are flooded with information from the internet, social media, and news channels. It can be incredibly difficult to know what to believe. Is a news story accurate? Is a scientific claim valid? Is a politician telling the truth? By learning about how we can define and test for truth, we gain powerful tools. These tools help us navigate the flood of information, make better decisions, and build a more honest and reliable world for ourselves and for others. The oldest and perhaps most intuitive idea about truth is the correspondence theory. Its roots go all the way back to ancient Greek philosophers like Plato and Aristotle. They argued that a statement is true if it corresponds to, or matches, a fact in the real world. It is the simple idea that truth is about getting things right. When you say, "the cat is on the mat," that statement is true only if there is, in reality, a cat and a mat, and the cat is actually located on top of that mat. It is a very direct and straightforward way of thinking about truth, connecting our words and thoughts directly to the state of the world outside our minds. This theory feels natural because it is how we often operate in our daily lives. We look out the window to check if the statement "it is raining" is true. We are looking for a correspondence between the statement and the reality of the weather outside. The strength of this theory is its simplicity and its connection to objective reality. It gives us a solid external standard to check our beliefs against. We don't just have to rely on our own opinions. We can go out into the world and observe, measure, and verify the facts for ourselves. This makes truth something that is public and testable, not just a private feeling or belief. However, the correspondence theory has its weaknesses. What about statements where there is no simple physical fact to check? Consider moral truths like stealing is wrong or mathematical truths like 2 + 2 = 4. Where is the physical object or fact in the world that wrongness or the number 4 corresponds to? These are abstract ideas, and it is not clear how they can match anything in the physical world. This is a significant challenge for the theory, as it seems to work best for simple, descriptive statements about physical objects, but struggles with more complex or abstract areas of human knowledge and experience. Furthermore, another problem arises with our access to the facts themselves. We can never perceive the world directly as it is. Our senses can be fooled, and our instruments can be imperfect. We always see the world through the filter of our own perception and interpretation. This means we can never be absolutely certain that our belief perfectly corresponds to reality. We assume there is a world of facts out there, independent of our minds, but checking the perfect match between our ideas and that world is tricky. The theory relies on being able to access the real world, but our only access is through our fallible human senses and minds. Faced with the problems of the correspondence theory, Some philosophers proposed a different idea, the coherence theory of truth. This view was popular with thinkers like Baruch Spinoza and G.W.F. Hegel. They suggested that a statement is true if it fits together logically with all our other beliefs into a coherent and consistent system. Truth isn't about matching a single fact in the world, but about being part of a larger, interconnected web of beliefs that support each other. Think of it like a detective solving a complex case. The detective's theory is true if all the pieces of evidence, the clues, the witness statements, the motives, fit together into a single logical story without any contradictions. The main strength of the coherence theory is that it can handle truths in areas where the correspondence theory struggles. It works very well for abstract systems like mathematics and logic. The statement 2 + 2 = 4 is true not because it matches a physical object, but because it coheres perfectly with the entire system of mathematical rules and axioms. Similarly, a complex scientific theory is considered true if it logically connects a wide range of observations and experimental results into a consistent framework. It allows us to talk about truth in systems of thought, not just in statements about individual physical objects in the world. However, the coherence theory has a major weakness of its own. A system of beliefs can be perfectly coherent and logical, yet have no connection to reality whatsoever. A well-written fantasy novel, for example, might have a completely consistent world with its own rules, history, and characters. Every statement within the story could cohere with every other statement, creating a perfect web of belief. But we would not say that the statement "dragons exist in Westeros" is true in the real world. Coherence by itself is not enough. A set of beliefs can be internally consistent, but completely false because it is detached from reality. This leads to the criticism that the coherence theory could allow for multiple competing truths. If two different groups of people have two different sets of beliefs, and both sets are internally coherent, how do we decide which one is true? The theory does not provide a clear way to judge between two competing but equally coherent systems. It traps us within our own circle of beliefs without giving us a way to check them against an external world. While it provides a good test for consistency within a system, it struggles to provide a firm anchor to the reality that exists outside of that system of beliefs. So, we have two different ideas about truth. The correspondence theory says truth must match the world, while the coherence theory says truth must fit with our other beliefs. Which one is right? Many philosophers today believe that we don't have to choose just one. Instead, we can see them as two different tools that we use together to find truth. We might start with coherence, checking if a new idea fits with what we already know. But then, we must use correspondence to test that idea against evidence from the real world. A good scientific theory, for instance, must be both coherent, logically consistent, and correspond to experimental results. This combined approach is sometimes linked to another idea called the pragmatic theory of truth. Pragmatists, like the philosopher William James, suggested that the truth is what works. A belief is true if it allows us to navigate the world successfully and make accurate predictions. This approach uses both correspondence and coherence. A belief works because it corresponds well enough to reality to be useful, and because it coheres with our other successful beliefs. So, truth is not just a passive label, but an active tool that helps us solve problems and live our lives effectively. It is a practical guide to action. Understanding these ideas about truth is more important now than ever before. We live in a digital age filled with misinformation and fake news. Online, anyone can create content that looks real. A story can spread rapidly on social media, even if it is completely false, because it seems to cohere with what a certain group of people already wants to believe. This is a danger of relying only on coherence. To protect ourselves, we must also insist on correspondence. We need to ask for evidence, check sources, and look for facts that connect claims to the real world. Being a responsible digital citizen means being a critical thinker about truth. In the end, the quest for truth is a journey that requires effort, humility, and an open mind. It is not always easy, and we may not always find a perfect answer, but the search itself is what matters. Seeking truth is what drives science, justice, and personal growth. It is what allows us to build trust with each other and to create a society based on shared understanding and reality. While philosophers may debate the fine details, the fundamental value of truth remains. It is a guiding star that helps us navigate the complexities of life and strive for a better, more honest world for everyone.